3, 2, 1. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Hanging with Janky. Well, it is official, friends. I am a jack of all trades and a master of one. That's right. I got my hood. No, but I graduated yesterday with my master's degree, so I got a fancy hood now that I can wear around to things, although that would never actually happen because how often would you wear this outside of a graduation ceremony? Answer, never. You never would. I had to laugh, though, because I was talking with my friends after the graduation ceremony, and we were like, none of us plan to go for PhDs, but those PhD robes look pretty kickin', and their hoods are, like, ridiculous. They're the kind of hoods that, like, go 3/4 of the way to the floor, because they're just, like, massive hoods. Kind of makes you want one. I mean, these are cool, but those are really cool. So, watch out, world. Janky's coming for you. For work. The moral to this story is set those goals for yourself. Achieve them. Do great things in this world. If there has to be a moral, that should be it. It's pretty generic, but it's true. Go out there. Change the world. You can do it. You can do it. Alright, let's get into it, shall we? There's all sorts of things to do. Let's talk about the channel. Let's talk about subs. Let's talk about subs, baby. And let's talk about news, because there's a lot. Let's go. So, shifting over to this side of the screen, let's talk about what got up on this channel the past week. So, Janky's Lab got up. We got 2 Hello Neighbor, which released its Alpha 4. Actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago now. I didn't get to play it at the time because my internet was down for reasons. But that got fixed, so I was able to film the Alpha 4. I got that video up a few days after it was out, but it's still a good video, and I think they've improved a lot of the problems I had with Alpha 3, so I'm really happy with the game as it stands right now. The puzzles are still a little, like, obtuse in the way that they're designed, but I think that generally the game overall has improved, so definitely go check out Hello Neighbor because it is kickin'. The other Janky's Lab that came out this week is for Super Rude Bear Resurrection. Oh my goodness, did that game frustrate the hell out of me. It was just so hard. Basically, you play as a bear who gets pulled into this weird other magical dimension world, and it's just a whole bunch of platforming, but they were just like, hey, what if we take normal platforming and we just put spikes on everything, swinging axes, and we make death an important mechanic in the game. Like, you die so that you can climb on your own bodies to make it where you need to go. How about we do that? And that's Super Rude Bear Resurrection. So if you'd like to see me get super frustrated, I would suggest watching that video. Other things we had going on, I put up a Janky's junk drawer called Dank Science, where I do a little bit of maiming and mostly talk about sweet, sweet time travel science in terms of theoretical physics and, layman's theoretical physics and just some other stuff it's fun for me to talk about because I enjoy talking about those things. I don't do it often. I should do it more, but I don't because I don't want to, like, I don't know. I guess I don't want to encroach on game theory's territory. I don't know what it is. I just don't, so. Well, maybe more of that will be coming with more Janky's Labs in the future. Who knows, right? Who knows? But watch this one, because it's cool. And finally, there was a Janky's Uncensored Blossom Tales, which went just about as well as I expect Janky Uncensored to go. There was a lot of vocal pauses in that in the second half of it because I kind of lost my flow. So I was saying and a ton, and it was bugging the living daylights out of me as I was editing it, so that's something to improve upon. Also, I could use some more topics, so if you would like to contribute to Janky Uncensored, I suggest it in the comments to that video, or this video, or hit me up on Twitter with some topics or ideas that you'd like to talk about, and I would be happy to share my interesting opinions on them. So definitely check that out and be a part. Join in the fun. It's great. Hop on in. All right, shifting over to this side of the screen, let's talk about what's coming up on the channel. More Janky's Lab. Yay! All sorts of games that I need to play. It'll be awesome. Yay, yay, yay. Then we also have some shared shenanigans, possibly, which may run into Janky's Lab. They might actually be one and the same thing, because there are some games, games if you will, that have come out that are in beta right now, and I'm just like, well, I need friends to play them. So maybe there will be a mixing of some series. I don't know. We'll see. Then there's going to definitely be a Janked Up Lore, because I got that recorded with Directionally Challenged DC Games. He's totally cool. We had a grand old time. We did a whole bunch of conspiracy theories about Final Fantasy, basically, and it was delightful. So definitely be watching out for that. And finally, there will probably be some more Janky Uncensored, as long as I get some topics to talk about. If nothing else, I'll just ramble about my thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I loved, by the way. So, I encourage you to give me topics for that. If not, I will choose my own, and they will be strange and off-kilter, and it'll be great. Yay! Oh, dear. All right, and with that, it's time to move over into thanking some subs. So, let me tell you about the people we need to thank today. They are great people, and we need to thank them. Here we go. First up, my love to Many Skills Gaming, known on Twitter as Many Skills, previously known on YouTube as Pun Intended. She is delightful. So glad to have her back on the Jank Squad with this new channel. You guys should definitely go check it out. It's starting out small, but she's added a lot of videos so far with tons of cool stuff that you should go look at. So, thank you, Many Skills, for subbing the channel, and continue to rock it. Next up, I'm sending my thanks out to Jezzy James. Thank you so much for subbing the channel. She is totally cool, awesome. She has a store online where she is actually designing a mug for me, which is super cool. Gotta buy it. That's right. I need to buy it, and you guys should buy it too, because that'd be super cool. That'd be a super awesome way to show support. Plus, it's a really awesome mug. It has nothing to do with me personally. It just says, sleep when I'm dead, which is just my life motto. So thank you, Jezzy, so much for subbing the channel. I am so glad to have you as part of the Jank Squad, and keep doing you, girl. You're awesome. You should know that. You're amazing. Yes. Yes, you are. And finally, thanks sent out to Happy Wolverine. Thank you so much for subbing the channel, Happy Wolverine. I very much appreciate you, sir. He's awesome. He's over on Twitter. Check him out. He's cool. And thank you for subbing the channel. So glad to have you as part of the Jank Squad. Keep being an amazing person, as I'm sure you are. Keep making people laugh. Keep doing you. And those are the 3 subscribers I have to thank this week. So, before we move on into gaming news, I do have to thank all 232 members of the Jank Squad. Y'all are so cool and awesome. We're approaching the 250 mark. Don't know what I'll be doing for that. Ice bath challenge? Hot peppers? Who knows? You guys can totally drop some comments down below with whatever you think I should be doing. But I am so glad and gracious, thankful. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm just, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that you like my content. And I think you're all amazing, wonderful, intelligent, beautiful human beings who should just keep doing what you're doing, because whatever you're doing it well and amazingly and beautifully. And keep making a difference out there, because I know you are. Love you guys. So with all that mushy mush out of the way, let's talk about gaming news, shall we? Starting with Quickfire news, a wrap-up of everything that's been happening in gaming this past week. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? First up, we have Rap Rabbit, an exciting new beat adventure game from the creators of Papa Rappa and Guitaroo Man. It looks super cool. Definitely watch this trailer. It looks awesome. Speaking of sick beats like the ones that Lucio lays down, Overwatch has an upcoming anniversary, and it looks like they'll be releasing a Game of the Year edition along with lots of other sweet loot. At least that's what the data miners tell us, so definitely look forward to that. Speaking of combat games, the highly anticipated online melee combat game Absolver received a release date along with a really sweet video about all the different fighting styles in the game. It will be releasing August 29th, so definitely look forward to that. Speaking of fighting, Street Fighter has sort of hinted or guessed, or well, actually they've released what their new fighter will be. His name is Ed. He is Balrog's apprentice. He looks super cool. Everyone's excited. It looks awesome. So that's something. Speaking again of fighting games, we have Mirage Arcane Warfare, which is an open beta on Steam now, an exciting team battle game with all sorts of sweet modes that may be coming up soon because I have a beta key for it. So definitely look forward to that. Continuing to speak about Assassins, sure, Assassin's Creed has leaked images of their new game. It will be titled Origins, tentatively, apparently. That's what I hear. Those are the rumors. And it will be set in Egypt. So, will we hear about the origins of the Assassin's Guild? Maybe. We'll see whenever more of this game is revealed. Speaking of Assassins, again, Square Enix is apparently selling off IO Interactive, which is responsible for the Hitman series, leaving the future of the Hitman series in some doubt. There has been rumors that Hitman will leave with IO Interactive whenever that happens, and perhaps IO will continue to work on the game in the future, but for now, it's all pretty unclear. Speaking of things that are getting removed or maybe going away, Alan Wake, which is a very popular game over on Steam, will be getting removed due to expiring music licenses. Every chapter apparently ends with some sweet pop music. It's expiring, so it will be removed from Steam in a week. However, it is at a 90% discount now, so if you'd like to see what this game is about, or you know what this game is about and you just love it and you want to have it, definitely buy it now. And finally, I have no transition for this one, but Google acquired Alchemy Labs, which is responsible for Job Simulator and also Virtual Reality, which is the Rick and Morty virtual reality game. It is delightful. It's hilarious. I watched Jacksepticeye play it. You should check it out. But now that's owned by Google, so take that information as you will. And that wraps it up for Quickfire News. All right, so taking a moment to breathe after that Quickfire News, let's move into a couple stories that I think are super cool and I'd like to talk a bit more about, shall we? First up, let's talk about Nintendo and their E3 exhibit. Okay, so earlier in the month, I believe it was, I think I talked about this on earlier Hanging with Janky, the president of Nintendo has stated that they won't be holding the typical press conference, which, to be fair, I don't think they did at the last E3 either. But basically, you know, all the AAA companies have like big presentations in theaters and stuff. It's really cool to watch, actually. I watched a lot of it last year. But Nintendo will not be doing that. Instead, they have recently released what they will be doing over at the Nintendo Treehouse. It will be a smaller booth this year, which will mostly focus on Super Mario Odyssey, which is their new Mario game that everyone's really looking forward to. I'm excited for that. I mean, I would like to see more about Super Mario Odyssey. First of all, I'd like to know why his hat is apparently alive in this game. Not to mention, I just want to learn more about, like, the worlds that are occurring in Super Mario Odyssey, because if you watch the trailer for it, like, part of it actually looks like it's happening in, like, a city, like New York or something. Mario looks super out of place, because I'm pretty sure there are people walking around the city, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't look like he belongs there. It's a little jarring. But then again, just like, I just want to know more about the game. So I'm excited, you know, to hear that this is what they're doing with it. And they always live stream from their Treehouse anyway, so I think it'll definitely be cool to learn more about Super Mario Odyssey. I'm always a fan of the Mario games, so it'll be cool to learn more. In addition to the focus on Super Mario Odyssey, however, they will also be holding a couple of tournaments. On June 13th, they'll be holding the Splatoon 2 tournament, so you'll get to see some top squads. Top Squid Squad? Really? Okay, sorry, I'm reading this off the website. See top Splatoon Squid Squads from around the world. claim their turf in the 2017 Splatoon 2 World Inkling Invitational. Yeah. So apparently they're doing an invitational, and that's fun. I mean, obviously, I've talked about this before, I don't have a Wii U, so I've never played Splatoon. It looks really fun, but I've never had the opportunity to play it. I just didn't realize it was, I don't know, I guess I just didn't realize it was so competitive as a game. I mean, I guess I've heard enough about Splatoon that shouldn't surprise me that it's competitive enough to have like an invitational. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that sentence. I guess this isn't surprising at all. It'll be cool to watch though, so I'm excited to see it and check it out. And to be honest, I can't remember when Splatoon 2 is actually releasing. I want to say it's before E3, right? I want to say it's... I don't know, let me look it up. Oh no, it's not. Splatoon 2 doesn't even get released until July 21st. Okay, so yeah, this is just like showing off all the things that will be happening in Splatoon 2, which is cool, right? The thing is, I mean, I don't know. The other thing is the ARMS Open Invitational. So ARMS, the boxing game with big spring lock arms for the Nintendo Switch, they're having a tournament of it at the thing, which is just fine. Is that game doing well, just for the record? I mean, it's not that the game doesn't look fun. I'm just sitting here like, a tournament for it though? Like, we all kind of had like a pretty good laugh about ARMS whenever they showed off that game the first time. Because like, there were several internet memes about how ridiculous this game looks. But I don't know, maybe people are super into it. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, so I don't know, maybe. I don't know. It'll be funny to watch, at least, I guess. It'll be funny to watch the ARMS Open Invitational, I suppose. I mean, the biggest thing for me is I'm glad that Nintendo is showing off more games, because right now, the way it feels is you have Breath of the Wild. Yep. I mean, the thing is, right now, it just feels like most of the games for the Switch are things that they're just ports or indie games. Not that there's anything wrong with indie games. I love indie games, but they're ports of indie games, like from computer to the Switch. So the thing is, what is the point of owning a Switch if I could play this game somewhere else? Although now they have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so I guess that's something too. So Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and a whole bunch of other stuff that you can play on other things. I'm just saying they need to release more games, so it's good that they're showing off more games. Yeah. Speaking of Nintendo, another story I have for you guys today is the Nintendo PlayStation. So it was not actually called the Nintendo PlayStation, for the record, back when it premiered. It was called the Nintendo CD-ROM drive, I think? I don't know. Basically, it was this old machine that was actually built as a partnership between Nintendo and Sony, and it was supposed to play NES cartridges, but it was also supposed to play CDs. The problem was they never got the disk drive working correctly, so it was never actually able to play anything. And Sony and Nintendo worked on it for a while, apparently in the 90s, but they eventually just gave up on the project because they couldn't get the CD-ROM working correctly. And then, of course, I don't know, some fallout happened between Nintendo and Sony. Oh, Nintendo wanted to restructure the agreement with Sony, and Sony was just like, nah, and then Sony like cut ties with Nintendo, and then they ended up making the PlayStation, and then they became game console rivals. So, love stories, guys. Sometimes they end in disaster. What? Anyway, what was the point of me telling you all this? Well, the point was that there is a master modder, Terry Diebold, who actually found one of these Nintendo PlayStations, and he got it to work. He actually looked at how the CD-ROM was configured. He figured out what was wrong with it in the first place, and he managed to rebuild it so that it would actually play CDs. The problem is that Nintendo basically never made the CDs for the thing because they never got the CD player to work, so they just never made games for CDs. But there are a couple people who hearing this, decided to make a couple little games that you could play. One was from Hackendorn, and they made a game called Magic Floor, and they burned it onto a CD-ROM that could be played on the Super NES CD-ROM. And yeah, so you can play a little game on it. Not that these are like mass produced or anything, but I think it's just a cool little story. They were able to get it to work, and I like it. It's cool. It's like a fun little gaming story. Throwbacks and nostalgia and all that. Whatever. I hope you guys liked it. Spending my days looking for gaming news, not even getting appreciated for it. And the last thing I have to share with you guys today is a new initiative from Steam that I would like your opinions on. Okay, so before I start this week's opinion piece, I just wanted to go back to last week's, which was, should Mario Kart be renamed? I got one response back that was basically to the effect of, yes, they should call it Super Smash Brothers, which, continuing to read on the internet, is basically the sort of prevailing opinion of the internet, is to switch the name to Super Smash Bros. Kart. No, Super Smash Kart. That's what I meant. To change it to Super Smash Kart, which I think would be a good idea just because it would open it up to more franchises, but I don't know, Nintendo's decision. So what's this week's opinion piece, eh? So this week for the opinion piece, I wanted to talk about Steam's new philosophy on being open and honest with their community. So Steam has started this awesome new set of blog posts over on the Steam blog that basically talks about their philosophy and what they want to accomplish and who they want to try to reach and what's going on right now on Steam and what they want to change for Steam Direct and how to make the whole thing more transparent for us, the Steam users, which I think is a really great idea. The one that I was looking at was actually the first of 3 blog posts. This one they posted back on May 8th, but basically they just wanted to talk about the inner workings of the store, particularly talking about the recommendation system that they introduced. So again, the blog post is kind of lengthy, so of course if you want to read it yourself, I'm leaving a link down below. But to boil it down to the section particularly about recommendation, they basically talk about how the recommendation system works on a black box algorithm and how that algorithm takes data from developers and the gamer themselves and like what they play and how much time they spend playing it to try to find games that would be in the wheelhouse of the gamer. They also take some time to talk about how the black box algorithm system is difficult because it's hard to tell when it's messing up or when it's not messing up, just because of the nature of the way it processes data. So one of the things that they'd like to do with the system is they want to show you how the black box algorithm is arriving at its decisions. That way you can see how it's suggesting games to you, and then based on how it's suggesting games, you can figure out if it's messing up or not. If it's like, I don't know, saying that the reason that you'd like this game is some game that you've like never played before, you know, then you can say, hey, yo, this isn't working correctly. I think it's a really awesome system because I think it makes it more transparent and you can actually see where the data is coming from, and then if there's something wrong with the data, it makes it easier to correct, and you can be like, yo, not a fan, right? And I think that it's nice that Steam is starting to try to make this effort to make the site more transparent to the people who are using it. I think that that's helpful, and I think that it's good for them to start making these blog posts. So the opinion piece comes in here, because from what I've read around the internet, it's actually a pretty divisive split. Some people, like me, are really happy that they're introducing this system where, you know, they're trying to be more open with where they're going with it and what they're trying to do with it, and they just want to try to be more open with their community, which is sweet. Other people are saying, okay, so you're posting about the inner workings of Steam, and shady developers are now going to use this information that you've given them to basically try to pull terrible games into the mix, like take their terrible game and like send it out into the world using their intricate knowledge of the inner workings of Steam to like basically spam a whole bunch of people with games that they don't want. So the question for this week is what do you guys think? Do you think that these Steam blog posts are nice because Steam is trying to make themselves more transparent and visible to the users? Or do you think that maybe they should hold back on some of the information they're revealing so that shady developers don't try to use that information to spam gamers with a whole bunch of games they don't want? So I'd love to hear your opinions. Please feel free to leave those down below. And yeah, we'll see what you guys have to say, because I'm curious. I'm curioso, if you will. And that's all the gaming news I have for this week, so I hope you guys enjoyed yet another Hanging with Janky. If you did, you can totally leave those likes down below. Comments, positive or negative, as I just said, feel free to leave those below too. More than anything, I hope you have a lovely day, evening, or whenever you happen to be watching. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, this is Janky Shenanigans, signing out. Hey friends, hope that you liked the video. If you did, you can find more of my content in these links off to the side here. And if you really enjoyed it, you can become part of the year of 1,000 subs here on the channel and use that button down below to subscribe. More than that, I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, this is Janky Shenanigans, signing out.